Welcome back to your weekly roundup of everything that happened in Zenless Zone Zero, where we will cover everything that you missed inside and outside of the game, where we are still waiting for the drip marketing for patch 2.2. Surely it'll come soon after this video though, right? But let's be real though, I think it is pretty safe to say that we can expect at least one of the agents to be drip marketed to be Komano Manato, also known as the guy whose chest is wider than my ambitions in life, alongside of course Orpheus, especially considering that in the 2.1 main story, we clearly see that Komano's model is complete, including of course all of his animations, and I mean all of his animations, including the idle one, but that's all future stuff though. As for some in-game news right now, firstly we have two new redeemable codes in-game. The first is ZZZ21 Summer, all caps of course, and the other is YUZUHAGIFT, one word, all caps. This will give you some polychrome and some upgrade materials. And then, starting on the 22nd, a new event, Tales of the Marvelous Fish Stall, will start. This is of course the one where we save a poor little shark boo from captivity by simply doing various tasks to flip over reward cards to earn polychromes and other upgrade materials. Otherwise, later this week on Friday, we will have our regularly scheduled Deadly Assault reset. And this time around, the bosses will be the Miasma Priest, Pompeii, and one of the new enemies from the story, the Miasma Fiend. Also, this is something very small, but it means a lot to me, but the Tin Master at YFA Peninsula now offers a coffee option, which is your usual 60 stamina and a double drop, which is great. So now you're no longer going to be sitting there awkwardly on 320 stamina, and then you have to find a way to squeeze in an extra 20 card run for whatever you have. Unfortunately, he still does not give you the animation though of making the coffee. Another new thing that is available in-game starting now until the end of the patch are two new shop items. And no, not the skins. There is a bundle where you immediately get 180 monochrome and some dennies on purchase. And then over the next 4 days, you will get a total of 480 polychrome from logging in. So 3 pulls in total, or 4 pulls if you convert that monochrome into polychrome. This is advertised as having a 530% value, but technically speaking, the internet membership still outclasses it in terms of value. Yes, it costs almost twice as much, but you get way more pulls out of the internet membership than this hollow navigator supply. Although I suppose what you can do, if you really want to buy it, is you can end up buying both actually on top of each other. There is also a one-time purchase of a fantasy invitation, which gives you a 10 pull as well as some dennies. And although this is touted as a 70% efficient buy, for that same price, you could buy 3 internet memberships, which totals almost 56 pulls. So although this bundle does have the benefit of you not having to wait to log in each day, again, don't be fooled by the fancy wording of how efficient it is. But hey, it's your money, so I thought I would just let you know the facts to help you decide. But speaking of buying polychrome, if you would like to top up on some polychromes yourselves, why not try using LD Shop? Especially considering you can get top-up options cheaper through LD Shop than you would in-game, with discounts of up to nearly 22% for new users. For example, purchasing an internet membership through LD Shop costs only $3.87 compared to the $5 if you were to purchase it in-game. And topping up is really easy. All you need is your in-game user ID and your server. Once you fill those in, you can click on top up, choose your payment method, and within seconds your order is completed, and you can see the rewards in-game. And yes, you can even get the double bonus for first-time top-ups. LD Shop is a trusted and authorized service that is 100% safe and legitimate. Also, if you use my link in the description when you register on LD Shop, you will also get a 5% off coupon to use. And if you spend over $80, you will also gain a VIP membership, which can earn you free internet memberships and regular coupons. Once again, you can check out the description and the pinned comment to start saving with LD Shop. Moving on to social media news though, first things first, a late happy birthday to Harumasa, and also happy birthday to anybody else whose birthday is in the near future. To celebrate, we've got a few freebies and competitions for all of you to enter. First off is the return of Twitch drops over on Twitch for the new patch. By watching anyone in the Zenless Zone Zero category on Twitch, you'll earn a handful of rewards such as polychrome and upgrade materials. Next up is a set of free character avatars featuring the new units Alice and Yuzuha. Unfortunately though, there are no Kama stickers, but I mean hey, I'll give the devs a pass on this one this time. The link to download these avatars will be in the description below. And then a reminder that the Drip Fest is currently underway. And even if you aren't confident in your own creative skills, don't forget that simply entering will give you a chance to be a lucky winner of 1000 polychromes. For more information about the Drip Fest and how to submit your work, check the linked tweet in the description. And then we have a couple more social media competitions. The first is for the recently released YUZUHA EP, which if you have not listened to yet, you can follow the official Zenless Zone Zero account and repost the linked tweet in the description for a chance to win a Bluetooth Sony headset to help you listen to that EP in all its glory. And even if you don't win the headset, you could still stand a chance to win a random acrylic stand. That is not the only YUZUHA related competition though, as there is also the YUZUHA prank event, where you can vote for an option on the linked tweet for a chance to win a $50 Amazon gift card or a random chibi acrylic charm. A pair of headphones isn't the only audio equipment you could be winning though, because with the summer event now underway, there is also a prize event where you could win either a JBL Pulse 5 Bluetooth speaker or a random Bangbu car block set. And to stand a chance to win one of these, you just have to take a screenshot of the GIF in the linked tweet with the corresponding hashtags to stand a chance to win. And then lastly are the IRL collaborations. The first is a reminder for the Operation Yum event happening in London, as well as a 2.1 collaboration with Chicha San Chen in Pavilion Bukit Jalil, which I apologize for presumably butchering that name and butchering that word, which is located in Kuala Lumpur in Malaysia. And then lastly, for the speculation zone, I figured I'd like to hear what you all thought about the 2.1 story. Not necessarily the summer event part, but the actual Spook Shack story. Of course, from a story point, in my opinion, it was way better than patch 2.0, even though the big twists and plot points were somewhat obvious as you play through the event. But in my opinion, Spook Shack as characters and as a faction were just more fun to watch interact with each other. But aside from the lore stuff, some very important things happened in this patch. The first is that we got to see MONATO in action, and also his combat animations, if you know what I mean. And not gonna lie, he seemed really cool. He reminded me a lot of Sol Bad Guy from Guilty Gear, which is a big plus, I suppose. This is also why I mentioned that it is very likely we will get MONATO as one of the drip marketed characters, considering we've seen him in combat and everything. That leaves us, of course, with the other agents shown off in the patch. And again, I'm not going to talk about people shown off in the summer event, but instead I'll mention people from the 2.1 story. So of course we see Orpheus and Magus yet again, but we also finally get to see Seed's model in game. And I'll be honest, I hope I'm not the only one to say this, but I was kind of expecting something at least a little bit different, I guess, from what we got. I don't know, I think that the one snapshot of Seed and Orpheus in that Season 2 preview just gave everyone very warped expectations. I mean, Alice and YUZUHA looked pretty similar to what we saw in that trailer, but first Orpheus went from looking a lot more stern and girl bossy to a much more soft-spoken backseat role that gets bossed around by her tail, Magus. And then Seed went from at least looking like this huge giant mech in the trailer, which might have just been a perspective thing, to, well, what we have now. And I remember in the trailer, I found it very funny that it looked like Seed just didn't have any legs at all in that snapshot, or at least they were blocked and covered. And honestly, that kinda seems a lot cooler than what we got in reality. But hey, that's just my opinion. I know there are a lot of people out there that have been genuinely excited for Seed ever since knowing that it'd be a big mech. So I'm curious to know, what are your thoughts about Seed now that we've actually seen the model in-game? Let me know down in the comments below. Otherwise, thank you all for watching until the end. If you enjoyed this video, liking, commenting, and subscribing is greatly appreciated. So until next time, bye bye!